Trade Colombia-France. Diplomatic relations between France and Colombia are old, as they began May 30, 1892, with the signing of a concerning the establishment of national trade and navigation agreement. Within the trade agreements between the two countries is the most important FTA Colombia-European Union, which are stipulated of tariff exceptions of both sides. In addition, the continued support of investment, development, security, education, and environmental care by both. A part of this free trade agreement, when it is under review by the two countries to put into effect a trade agreement for both investment, which would benefit both Colombian and French entrepreneurs. The Minister of Commerce, Industry and Tourism, Santiago Rojas, while described as positive the signing of this agreement because it will encourage investment in France and Colombia, which translates into more jobs, clarified that this has nothing to do with tariffs, nor elimination of time barriers, but rather to provide guarantees and cleaner route, encourage investment of French companies in the country and nationals arriving with their capital to mirror European economy. The features indicate that between 2004 and 2014, France was ranked as the fourth largest European investor in Colombia, investing US$1 capital have come across companies in the country. Last year, Colombia received million in investment from France. Most of this investment went to the industrial and financial sector, 69%, 22%. Another part is allocated to real estate to capture 7% of the total, and other sectors captured the remaining 3%. Today, the government of President Francois Hollande and the private sector in France seek to intensify the device to increase political and economic cooperation between that country and Colombia. So said the second in line in decision making, Philippe Gauthier, Assistant General Direction of the Movement des Entreprises de France, MEDEF, a varied pair of National Association of Entrepreneurs, ND, and Lauren Greenet, Director of Missions America, that entity. To this effect, the diplomatic of both countries agreed the trip of a delegation headed by President Juan Manuel Santos and Minister of the Cabinet and some Colombian businessmen to Paris on 26 and 27 January to strengthen political and economic exchanges. The first stage of the meetings of representatives of Colombia and France was in Paris. The drafts on bilateral agreements of economic and institutional cooperation already began drafting, and the creation of a bipartisan strategic advice. Representation made members of government and businessmen from both countries. The ideas proposed for this Colombia-French meeting were looking for ways to improve existing and develop new business. Similarly, in the spring of 2015, a French business delegation medium, small and large company, come with the Prime Minister of France, Manuel Valls, Colombia to continue the bilateral business conference and may release Colombian-French Strategic Economic Council. According to the Directorate General of Medellin in Colombia, there is a favorable business environment to strengthen the French business investment due to the similarity in the ratio of work and business organization, besides having a good rating compared to the other countries' region. Unlike the United States and China, French investors have experienced working in system consortia in which cooperation is developed with other private companies in Europe and in other countries and have achieved good results, such as Veolia company urban service it provides to its associated economy assistance and logistics. Main products import from France: planes, helicopter, perfumes, industrial furnaces, lubricating oils, electric detonators, vaccines, veterinary drugs, water meters, landing gear, and others. Main products export to France: exotic fruit, roasted or decaffeinated coffee, fish, shellfish, pants and shorts, bitumen, snacks, toothbrushes, cotton, avocado, beets, sardines, nettles, and cheddar.
South Korea. This agreement means for consumers to access a greater number of goods with better prices and new opportunities for entrepreneurs and export growth, generating more and better jobs where all sectors benefit from the gradual elimination of tariffs and raw materials, inputs, and intermediate goods. One of the main interests of Colombia in South Korea is making some economies that have developed precipitously in recent decades, and also Asia, where they countries represent 34% of GDP in the world. Is among the most technologically advanced and best connected countries, having companies like Samsung and LG, the world's largest electronic companies. It is the largest number of internet users and broadband world leader in shipbuilding industry, led by prominent companies such as Hyundai Heavy Industry. Opportunities for the two countries. An increase in trade through the process of elimination of tariffs stand out. In 10 years, almost 97% of the products of both countries will have zero tariffs. The two nations are different but complementary economies, as South Korea has industries, financial resources, and technology, but lacks natural resources, and Colombia has abundant natural resources such as oil, coal, nickel, fruits, flowers, and coffee. Therefore, if their economies are joined, there is a good synergy in the future. Advantages of TLC, Colombia, and South Korea. The advantages that both Colombia against South Korea FTA is that immediately access for green coffee will be achieved and preparation instant coffee and mix. For flowers, in time between 3 and 5 years, for carnation, roses, and chrysanthemums were removed, among others. In fruits, clearing tariffs in turn ranging between 5, 7, and 10 years was agreed. For vegetables, they will be benefit from clearing of tariffs in periods ranging between 5, 7, and 10 years. The sugar will have a total dismantling of tariff of 35% in 16 years, while Big and Oval Merger opening was achieved in 19 years with a growth of 2% per annum for the fine cuts. The industrial sector remains concerned about the impact that the trade agreement with South Korea. Sanjay argued that there is no real opportunities for exchange.
Japan is an archipelago of islands 6852 of the greater Tokyo area on the island of Honshu, where is the city of Tokyo, the nation's capital. It is the largest metropolitan area in the world, with over 30 million residents. Japan is the third largest in the world economy after the United States and China. It has a large industrial capacity and is home to some of the biggest, best and most advanced technologically producers of the motor vehicles, electronic equipment, machine tools, steel and non-food metals, ships, chemical, textile and processed foods. Real economy growth has been called the Japanese miracle after the end of the Second World War. Japan entered a period of steady economic growth that allowed for 4 consecutive decades, scaling position at the international level to become the second power in the world in terms of GDP, only behind the United States. While this growth has become more moderate with the arrival of the 22nd century, Japan still today represents a socioeconomic anomaly in the Asian region, which maintains a clear leadership at the economic level, per capita income, social and cultural. Internationally, from Japan include demographic maturity, a high density of population which, however, fits one of the rates lower worldwide on single child per woman, ranks number 163 in the world in the ranking of countries with the highest birth rate. World Bank data show the technological orientation on the country. Japan occupies the bottom on land developed to the primary sector, and however occupies the top position in the penetration of the internet. As a result, according to the World Economic Forum, Japan is the 6th country in the world in the Global Competitiveness Index. Diplomatic relations between both countries were established by the Treaty of the Friendship, Commerce and Navigation, signed in Washington on May 22, 1908. They were interrupted in January 1942 as a result of the Second World War and were reestablished in May 1954. 29 July 2014. The Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, carried out an official visit to Colombia. The Prime Minister held a high-level meeting with the President Juan Manuel Santos, in the company of Foreign Minister Maria Angela Holguin, senior government officials and delegation of Japanese and Colombian businessmen. The meeting aimed to strengthen relations between the two nations, to strengthen the agenda, favoring aspects of the trade and growth of Japanese investment in the country. This visit marked a breakthrough in the 106 years of diplomatic relations with Japan and reflects the positive perception of Colombia in Japan regarding the improvement of the condition of the security, economy and investment. Japan is the oldest partner of Colombia in the Asian Pacific. Bilateral relations have been dynamic. characterized by a permanent political dialogue and strengthening sustainable trade, investment flows, and cooperation. Notably, the negotiation in the course of the Agreement of Economic Association (EPA) in September 2014 was held the seventh round of negotiations for this agreement in the city of Tokyo. Of Colombia, Japan imports mainly coffee and flowers, at the time that exports mostly articles of iron or steel, industrial machinery, and vehicles. In the past decade, the exchange of goods and services between the two countries has gone up from more than $723 million in 2001 to $1,960 million in the 2012. Colombia exports to Japan almost have tripled from the 165 million in 2001 to the $453 million in 2012. Through a letter from the Embassy of Japan addressed to Luis Alberto Martinez, General Manager of the ICA, notified will lift restrictions so Colombia can export chicken to Japan. So, is granted the official approval of export by the authorities of this country should be forwarded the list of plants authorized by INVIMA, which must comply with Japanese standards. 60% of the food consumed in Japan are imported. Currently, there is a Colombian plant that meets the demands of Japan. This survey means that Colombian authorities are already recognized by the Japanese government, and the requirement is that it meets all requirements are health and safety. Benefits of poultry plants have to comply with the Decree 1500, which comes into force in the 2016, and that refers to the poultry processing, said Adriana Navarro, director of the FENAVI Chicken Program. At the end of this week leaves a business mission to Japan, both egg and chicken, with a very full agenda to meet the market and seek business opportunities. There are two plants, one is located in the coast and another in the center of the country, which is working hard and preparing to make the INVIMA send their names to Japan. This then comes working the Embassy of Japan and the National Federation of Poultry since 2006, looking for what were the requirements to sell to this destination.
Italy. General culture. It is one of the richest in the world in art, architecture, cuisine, design, export, and philosophy. Its people are truly workers. The mayor is Catholic, and they like football, opera, and gastronomy. Has always been regarded as the poorest country in the Southern Europe, where the economy was managed mainly by industry, the mafia, and corruption. It is one of the most industrialized countries in the world, and is the industry's focus of its economy and its principal factor of development. Formalities for export to Italy. First, the exporter or the declarant present the goods, the export declaration, and the authorization or export license required. Declaration required. The custom declaration must contain the following information: code, number, name, quantity, and price of the product, destination of the goods and address of the person or place of receipt, name and registration number of the courier, place of storage. The EU legislation of food safety has been created to protect human health and consumer interests, while the objective of the legislation on animal feed is to protect human and animal health and the environment. Quality control. UNI, Italian Organization for Standardization. Ministry of Health. Bilateral trade Colombia Italy. The EU and Colombia have strengthened their trade relations in recent years, being the second largest trading partner of Colombia after the United States, accounting for nearly 15% of Colombian trade with the world. In the first 11 months of the entry into force of the FTA on August 1st in 2013, EU export to Colombia fills 2.86%. Currently, the EU is the third largest supplier of Colombia, after the United States and China. Meanwhile, Colombia is ranked 42 destination of export from the EU and the fifth in the Latin America. Business opportunities in Italy. In Italy, there are larger differences between North and South. The North is the industrialized development and is dominated by private companies, and in contrast, the South is less development and its irrational agriculture activities predominate. Agricultural sector. Exotic fruits like uchuva, gulupa, granadilla, the yellow pitaya, tree tomato, maracuja, the banana baby, and avocado are products that have very good demand, especially in Italy North, where supermarkets have this section developed to Mexican, Chinese, and Indian food. There is opportunity to introduce Colombian food, since we have a variety of exotic fruits and they like it. The agriculture and fisheries sector. The EU is the second market with highest consumer of fish in the world. Only China surpasses it. They import 70% of its consumption. Favorable trend to increase Colombia's sales of sheep, fish, fillet, tilapia and trout, canned fish, and processed seafood. Cosmetics and toilet product sector. Colombia is the fifth largest market for cosmetic and toilets in Latin America. According to statistics from the Association of Cosmetics, in Europe over 5 million toilets and cosmetics are sold annually in Europe, with potential for domestic supply, not only in Italy, but also to Sweden, Hungary, and Ireland, where you can export with zero tariff. Textiles. Growing interest of Europe entrepreneurs to acquire these textile products made in Colombia for several reasons. The quality and creative in design, the price, competitiveness, and production flexibility in our Colombian textile companies. Services. Services with higher growth potential in agreement with the European Union are graphic and editorial, health tourism, service outsourcing, BPO, software, digital animation, video games, mobile application, communication, and audiovisual. Transportation in Italy to export. The road infrastructure in Italy has one of the most developed transport systems in Europe, with 487,700 kilometers of highways and an excellent network of roads, all paved to favor the domestic freight. For sea freight movement, Italy has about 2,400 kilometers of navigable waterways used for commercial traffic and modern port infrastructure. Exportation in 2014 from Colombia to Italy. From January to November 2014, total exports to this destination were 2.1 million tons, of which 99.9% was held by sea. By sea, exports under this system were mainly coal and oil and derivatives in 2014. By plane, exports under this system were mainly flowers and leaf plants in 2014. Current news. Entrepreneurs were in furniture and explore the Italian market. The companies of Antioquia, Quindío, Cundinamarca, and Atlantis, with accompanying Colombia, are planning an explorative visit to the cities of Milan, Imola, Pesaro, Bologna, to know the market and the potential of these products in Italy. This mission is the result of a joint effort between ProColombia and Fede Maderas. During the tour, entrepreneurs will meet with potential buyers, visit the fair Saloni, and participate in specialized seminars for the sector of furniture and wood.
Germany. Colombia and the Federal Republic of Germany established diplomatic relations in 1882. The bilateral relationship between Colombia and Germany always has been framed within the cordiality and respect. Since the beginning of 2007, the bilateral political relations have been strengthened and have taken a much more visible dynamics through numerous high-level visits in both countries. In this sense, supported by the German Academic Exchange, the AAD, by its German acronym. Service stands in the creation of the Center of Excellence in Marine Science, Semarine in Santa Marta. Within the scope of the scientific academic cooperation, notably the increase of Colombian students in Germany, the number of scholarships granted by the German government, as well as development for peace and strengthening of the rule of law, and environmental policy, protection and sustainable use of natural resources. Germany is the largest market in the European Union of the exotic products of Colombia. The direct delivery of these products to Germany presents greater dynamism than to the rest of the Union. Indeed, wild fruit in the vegetal export without standard banana and plantain from Colombia to the European Union increased by 32%. In 2 years, 1999-2001, direct shipments to Germany have increased 2.2 times in the same period and multiplied by then in 7 years. The fresh gooseberry is the main fruit and vegetable product other than traditional banana export in Colombia directly to Germany. To provide 2/3 of the value of the same in 2001, 66%, it is followed in importance. Fresh, 7.3%. Tomato 3 or fresh tamarind 6%, pineapples 5.5%, banana fresh 2.7%, fresh pitaya 2.3%, dry banana or step 2.3%, lime fresh 1.5%, in tuna or fig 1.3%. Germany is part of the European Union, the Schengen area, and adopted the euro currency. Germany ratified on 3 March 2013 definitively the free trade agreement of the European Union, traded with Colombia and Peru, a step forward so that it can enter into force the transatlantic trade agreement. The Commission on Economy of the Bundesrat in April a favorable opinion to the FTA, with the proviso that in the future Germany only approve trade agreements if minimum labor and human rights standards are met. Normally, the FTA being negotiated and approved exclusive to community at Brussels level, since the commercial powers are transferred, but certain clauses of these agreements affect national competences, so that the 27 countries that make up the United States must ratify them. Bilateral meeting between Colombia and Germany. Foreign Minister of Colombia and Germany held a bilateral meeting in Cartagena. The Foreign Minister of Colombia and Germany, Maria Ángela Holguín and Frank-Walter Steinmeier, respectively, held a bilateral meeting. During his stay in Colombia, the German Minister of Foreign Affairs will hold meetings with the President Juan Manuel Santos, Minister of Justice, and the Minister of Trade, which aims to address issues of interest to the country, especially in the field of science, technology, education, innovation, environment, sustainable development, agriculture, and trade. The official visit of German Chancellor is developed within the framework an intense agenda that strengthens and increases the intent of fruitful political, commercial, educational, and technological relations between the two countries.
It is an European country that is part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. It is a member of the European Union. In the
Free Trade Agreement Colombia United States. Trade Colombia United States. Since the entry into force of the Free Trade Agreement between Colombia and the United States has been found according to Pro-Export. Colombia companies start to export products to the United States. "109 North American cities have received the Colombian products. Similarly, this treaty has allowed to the marketing of 32 new products including mineral water, beans, pitaya, handkerchief, kidney pads, clothing, among others. One year before to entry into force in the bilateral agreement, Colombia exported 160 tons of coffee, representing million. During the first year, is that export increased in terms the weighing reaching 184 tons. However, export values. On the other hand, Colombia has increased its export of flour with an average variation of 5% over the previous year of entry into force of the trade agreement. In banana export during the first year is observed $1 million, FAB 20.51%, and growth in terms of weight 30.12%. In the second year, export fall $1 million USD, FAB 7.21%. In the terms of weight 6.61%. Information shows that the textiles, clothing, and footwear sector has taken advantage of free trade by increasing their export with an average of 3.39% during the first 2 years of validity. Colombia increases also in its export in the following products: crusty bread, brown sugar, yeast, plants and fruits used for perfumery, medicine and insecticide, chocolate without filling, fat, fruits of peel, ground nuts and other seeds, and even mixed each other. Also in products generated by economic activity in fishing, Colombia has increased its export in the following products: fresh and chilled fish, fresh and chilled fillets, trout. Colombia export went from USD FAB 29,288 million in the period January-June 2013 to USD FAB 27,973 billion in January-June 2014, showing a decrease of 4.5%. Export of United States to Colombia. Information shows that the export of agricultural products in the fall increased, while other export had a fall with 31.89%, 29.18%, and 12.6% respectively. The most important impact was reflected in falls, which went from USD billion in 2013 2 million to May in the year 2014. Before the entry into force of the trade agreement, Colombia will buy a large part of the cereals demarcated to Argentina, while purchases are now being made to United States.
China. Popular Republic of China is a nation located to the east of Asia, with an extension of land of 9.6 million square kilometers, making it fourth largest in the world nation. It has the largest number of inhabitants, 13.43 million worldwide. Because this is the second largest economy in the world, with a GDP of $9.2 billion. They are larger producers of rice, cotton, tea, and potatoes. Dominates the production of wine, porcine, and marine species. In the mining sector, they have largest deposits of coal, iron, tin, gold, phosphates, zinc, and titanium, and significant reserves of oil and gas. In the industry, highlights the production of machinery, textiles, and a growing automotive industry. Its macroeconomic aspects show that China is stable. It has a rate of less than 3% inflation and employment below 5%. The external debt is less than 10% and boasts the highest levels of international reserves of the whole world. Among the positive aspects presenting China is the size of market, 6.85 on 7, the macroeconomic environment, 6.29 on 7, and health and primary education, 6.6 on 7. On the negative aspect is the preparation of technology, 3.44 on 7, higher education and training, 4.23 on 7, and institutions, 4.24 on 7. Export. China is the nation that more export in the world, with FOB 2,210,522 in 2013, beating the United States and Germany. This represented an increase of 8% compared to 2012, when it saw in the world for $2,048,782. This increase occurred in almost all product export, mainly in electric machines, variation 15.26%, clothing and full dresses 11.22%, and furniture 10.98%. Look at the products that China exports show that these are mainly of the brand of the industry, with a high concentration of benefit. In fact, it's the leading producer of electrical machines in the world, with more than 25% of export, which is made around the world on machinery. It is also the main seller of mechanical machines, garments and clothing accessories, and furniture, among other products. The main trading partner of China is Hong Kong, which sells jewelry and mechanical and electrical machines. The second is the United States. that sells mechanical and electrical machines, furniture, and clothing. The third is Japan, which mainly sells mechanical and electrical machinery and garments. Imports. China is the second country that matters most in the world, after the United States, with purchase from outside of CIF $1,949,925, beating Germany and Japan. With regard to 2012, the increase was the 7% when imports CIF $1,808,199. The main provider of China is South Korea, and the second is Japan, who sell you machinery, electrical and mechanical appliances of optics and organic chemicals. The third is Taiwan, which sells electrical and mechanical machinery and plastics. Trade relations. By 2014, Colombia presented a 5.6% growth in exports to China. By 2014, it found that the main products to export to this country are fuels, minerals, oils, and products of its distillation. The second most representative products are foundries, iron, and steel. Similarly, exports are products such as copper and manufacture of copper, forge and leather, aluminum and articles of aluminum. In conclusion, the balance of trade in Colombia and China behaved in the following manner. During the year 2014, Colombia exported $5,102.70 million towards China. Likewise, imports reached $9,841.59 million. As a result, there is a negative balance of trade in $4,729.42 million deficit.
Bilateral trade Chile-Colombia. The trade agreement that was signed on 27 November 2006 and came into force on 8 May 2009 is constituted as an additional protocol to the Agreement of Economic Complementation signed on December 6, 1993. In the period from May 2012 to May 2013, export totals from Colombia to Chile reached a figure of USD 1882 million, which reflects a concentration of Colombian export in traditional products, items of confectionery, electric storage batteries, pharmaceuticals, compressed and tampons vehicles. For the period between May 8, 2013 and on May 7, 2014, the main non-traditional product export were confectionery, motor vehicles with variation positive 234%. Since the entry into force of the Free Trade Agreement signed on 26 November 2006 and put into effect from 8 May 2009, positive behavior